Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to RVD Radio.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Contaminator! 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 Assassinator! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I damn got straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! You get down to straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I will fly high! 5-star broad blast! You can't stop me! 5-star broad blast! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! It's all about the yin and the yang! The balance of power that's in! You can't stop the yin and the yang! The balance of power that's in! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I will levitate! Flip, kick you in the yam! I will decimate! You can prepare for! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! 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 Drop that down! The whole fucking show!
Greetings, happy March 30th, 2011, everybody. Happy RVD Radio Day. We made it. You know who didn't make it? Elizabeth Taylor, most notable in the celebrity world. She might have listened to our last broadcast, but she ain't hearing this one. But you guys are, so I hope you're all feeling awesome. If you're not, suck it up. Pretend you are. Because RVD and SVD are sitting here ready to put in the time for today's show. Just got back from Orlando earlier today. Been traveling. Lots of traveling. I went to Vegas last Friday. Gotta tell you this. Right off the bat, I almost feel like a Bible thumper because I believe in this product so much that I just want to tell everybody about it. And I've been telling all the wrestlers, and I can't wait to turn them on to this. Who doesn't need energy, right? Everyone needs energy. I got the most awesomest energy pill ever. Last Friday, Godfather gave this to me. Rich Gaspari makes it. He's a bodybuilder. Gaspari products and supplements. It's 175 milligram caffeine, which is a small cup of coffee. And then the rest of it's plant matter. There's this plant Spiralex that apparently gives you insane energy, one pill a day. They sell it as a 12-hour energy booster and mood enhancer. And I got to tell you, I pulled a 24-hour shift Friday, flew to Vegas, had my mob mark-out day in Vegas, flew back Saturday. I slept for 2 hours, and I took one of these things. I felt great all day. Took the red-eye to Orlando Sunday night from California. Got in 6 in the morning. Got my rent-a-car, got my stuff. Got to sleep around 8 in the morning in Orlando for a few hours. Got up, took one of these things. Boom. I felt great all day. I take a 5-hour energy before my match, and usually one earlier in the day, too, when I'm at the studios doing TV. I couldn't touch my 5-hour energies. I bought them before the show Monday. They sat in my bag all day Monday. Tuesday, we taped. They sat in my bag, too. I brought them back home. I just, all day long, I felt energized from this thing. Okay, are you intrigued? It's called Spirodex, if I didn't already say that. Spirodex. Google it. It's the shit.
You sound like a paid advertisement. We're not responsible for the opinions expressed here.
Well, by the way, SVD joining the show. Hi, baby.
Hi.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you mention that, I should tell everybody this is still the experimental stage for me. But Godfather was super high on it. He was like, bro, you're not going to believe this. I feel great. I might work out when I go home. And I have only done like 3 days. I think today's like day 4. So I don't know. I haven't done any long-term studies, so don't go out and take it and have a heart attack and then blame me for it. But it doesn't make you feel jittery. It says don't take Spirodex. It says don't take any other caffeine products with it, which, you know, I don't mind having a cup of coffee once in a while. But
I love my coffee. I would not give up coffee for some kind of pill.
You're super sensitive to any kind of chemical in your body. So thing is, this is scored. It's got a cross on it so you can break it off into half or quarter tabs, which for you, I'm sure a quarter tab would set you at least for a day. But anyway, it's crazy. I mean, for when you don't have much sleep. And I looked at the reviews on it, you know, from people that aren't from Gaspari, outside reviews. Some of the bad claims they say is just you might forget to eat, you might forget to drink water while you're on this all day.
I do that normally.
Right.
That's a normal day.
So keep up with that, though, and you'll keep your energy sustained from my experience so far. So, and I wish I could endorse it and sell it, you know, and become, you know, get behind it, but it's so cheap. It's $1 a shot. And GNC carries a 15-pack for $15. But not all of them. It's hit and miss because they sell out. The GNC down the street doesn't have it. I'm told the Del Amo GNC does have it. And I'm going to show up next TNA TV taping day or live day. Ooh, next show's our pay-per-view, baby. You going to it?
It is?
Yeah, in Ohio.
Oh, yeah. I got to go see the family.
We better hook you up with the ticket. Anyway, I'm showing up with a bunch of these. I told everybody about it, and they saw me, you know, feeling good, bragging about it, and I'm going to deliver and just hook. I'm going to turn them on to it. I'm going to give it one, you know, because tell everyone to go to GNC. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if I give them one and they love it, they'll always remember RVD turned me on to this, and it's a good thing.
You're a drug pusher now.
I'm telling you. No, I'm a Bible thumper.
Oh.
No? All right, it's not really a Bible.
Bad.
Oh. Yeah, well, I guess it's more of a drug than a Bible. But I believe in it, and it's the shit, and I think everyone should have it, you know. So, boom! Have to, I got to talk, I had to tell you about that. So, but anyway, so there's that, and I'm on it right now, and I feel good. And got in this morning from Orlando. Another good week. So, we haven't been able to do an RVD radio show in a while, so bam, we're knocking it out tonight. Regardless of if we've had time.
I was a little surprised you wanted to do one on a day that you got home, because that's normally not the case.
But we just, you know, it's been hard to do it with the schedule and everything lately. So I really wanted to do it. I wanted to get one in. I get a lot of people all the time saying, dude, are you doing one this week? And sometimes it's on off weeks. So this one, put the word out earlier than I normally do, thinking maybe that would, you know, give people a little more time to prepare for it. And then Nikki Starr isn't with us, baby.
I know. I'm really sad about that. I hope she feels better.
Yeah, she said she's sick, not feeling good, but it's something she's gone through before. It's a pain in the ass, whatever, and she'll be back with us next time, I guess. So taking her place is Mr. Matt Denton.
The Matt Denton.
Which we appreciate. Appreciate your help, Matt Denton.
Yes, we do.
One of our loyal followers and constant contributors, and one of the many offerers that are always offering to help when we need it. So we're in a jam, so he's taking phone calls so I can see who's calling in. And guess what? Harry Slash is with us today.
Yay! Hi, Harry Slash.
Haven't talked to him in a while, huh?
I know. I owe him a phone call, not on the air.
Yeah. We'll get to Harry. We'll get to the subject.
What is the subject?
All right. So here's the subject. And let me spit this out first, by the way. They're going to let John Hinckley out? Are they just thinking about it? Or?
Are you serious? Where did you hear that?
No, that's what they said on Howard Stern the other day. And we just saw the news clip where, they said he's getting closer to being released. I don't know if that means they're letting him out. But the guy that shot Ronald Reagan, it's like the 30th anniversary since that happened, so it's on the news now. His bodyguard, James Brady's a vegetable in a wheelchair. And this guy should not get out. I mean, I'm not a fan of guns anyway. And now Jim Brady is a spokesperson for changing gun laws, and I'm all about that because.
He always has been.
Well, okay. Well, I guess now he's in the spotlight more.
No, he's always been in the spotlight since I was
a
child. I've known who he was because of that incident.
People don't know his name more because he was shot in a presidential assassination plot.
Well, yeah, of course they do. I'm just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with them on guns are murder weapons. Everyone that wants a gun, they can substitute and say, I want a murder weapon. And I think that's more of an honest situation because that's what they're made for, is to kill. I know, but they're made to kill. That's what they're made for.
I understand that, and I don't mind having a gun in my house, but you do, so we don't.
I know, and that's like. That's such a topic. I think we talked about that before on RVD Radio. I don't know if we got everyone to call in and give their different opinions of it or whatever. But anyway, the guy that shot the president, he shouldn't get out of jail, should he?
No.
I mean, shouldn't you forfeit your right to live as a citizen forever if you're trying to overthrow the leader of the fucking free world, the fucking most powerful world leader on the planet? I don't think you should. I don't think you should have time served and get out and try and fucking rehabilitate and be a better man in society. My opinion. So I want to ask Chuck Zito about that. What he thinks. Chuck Zito's going to be on the show in a while. First time guest, good friend of mine. If you don't know Chuck Zito, you don't know shit. He was the president of the Hells Angels for 10 or 20 years. Big difference between 10 and 20, but I can't remember right now. Harry Slash, you probably know. And he was the bodyguard to every major celebrity, and back in the day in the Studio 54 was around in New York. He has millions of stories from that. Plus he's an actor. Hopefully he will be starring along with RVD in a new action movie that's finally coming together to follow up from Wrong Side of Town. And hopefully this summer we'll be shooting it. Action. Planning on talking to Triple D this show too. Dave DeFalco from Dominion.
God, the return of Triple D.
Yeah, we want to have him make the announcement here. We're getting ready to do another RVD action flick. Hopefully Batista won't.
He just made the announcement. He stole his thunder.
That's okay. We'll act like we don't know. Oh, big surprise. Go ahead, Dave.
Getting him back for that.
Yeah. Hopefully Batista won't be on the cover of this one. So, here's the topic for today. Oh,
my God, we still haven't gotten to the topic?
You know I like to monologue for a while, baby. The people know that call in, that they got to wait a good 15 minutes before we would think about going to them. It's all good. Warming them up. Thanks for waiting. We got callers online. Hang in there. Harry Slash and Cody Tyler and Brian. Okay, all right, listen. I was talking to a friend of mine. This was a week or two ago, but anyway, he was over here, and somehow we're talking about we're talking about our preferences, how people are drawn to different things. Whether it's sexual, whether it's something that, whether it's a favorite color, whether it's something people get energy from. Ooh, this kid really likes aircraft. He's fascinated by it. This person likes bugs. Whatever. We're all drawn to different stuff in life, and I always figure we're kind of hardwired to like what we're going to like, and that when we come out, due to genetics and due to the programming in our brain, we're gonna be attracted towards whatever, whether some guys, like certain girls, some guys like guys. So here's where the conversation went. Okay, he's talking about his friend who he said is gay, and he never knew his friend was gay growing up. But he believes that his buddy is gay because his buddy grew up with all sisters, and that he just played with all the sisters, and he thinks that's why he's gay. And I'm like, wait a second. Now, maybe hanging out with the girls might expose you towards different things in life. It may make you feminine in your mannerisms, but I don't think it can make a guy want to suck a dick. So I think after discussing it with him, I think what we'll probably find out by tearing this open tonight is it's probably a combination of both. You know, like your predisposition to react towards certain stimulus that's out there, depending on what stimulus you get. I guess that makes you eventually what you are. I don't know. I mean, when it comes to gay, I have always thought, you know, it's not. I mean, I don't think it's a choice. It's ridiculous when they try and get people to, you know, choose not to be gay, because I think that they are what they are, and that has to do with their genes, the whole creation that took place before they were born. What do you think, baby?
So it's basically the topic is nature versus nurture?
Nature versus nurture. What makes us who we are?
Oh, my God, I turned that 5-minute monologue into, like, just a few words.
Do you have an opinion on it?
I think that we're a healthy mix of both. For example, my father is adopted. He never met his biological father, but he looks and acts just like him, according to my aunt that we found. That's a long story we won't get into. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a healthy mix of both.
Yeah, I think that it has to be for most things. But now when we break it down and people call in and they start giving examples that come to mind with them, I think we're going to find that we agree like on different things. You know, there's theories that, like, I don't know, that guys that are breastfed have more of an obsession with boobs, or maybe if they're not breastfed enough, there's a lack of it, so they're more obsessed with boobs or something. I don't know. You know, there's.
That's Freud.
Is it?
I don't know.
Well,
like it.
Okay, so I've heard stuff like that, but you know, what makes this guy, you know, be an ass man, and that guy be a boob man, and this guy like big women, this guy like small women? What makes one person just drawn towards whatever technology, you know, and like your brother, he's a genius with, you know, programming computers and stuff. Do you think he's like that because of like his parents, and like that was like passed on down to him? Because when you have a little kid, you look for your traits, you know, you say, oh, just like his daddy, or just, oh, look, he's got that look like his mom. I mean, aren't people like, when they're created, their spirit, I think, and their physicality, I think, is a combination of the paths of their parents intertwining. I mean, beyond that, there's certain shaping. I mean, you know, a fish will get bigger if they're in a bigger body of water than if they're in a smaller body of water. But that individuality, that person that they are, I believe it's more of a hard wiring and more of something that takes place in the creation process. You good with that, baby? Well, I'm going to go to Harry Slash to see what he says.
Yeah.
All right. It's kind of deep. Maybe I'm full of shit. Maybe it don't matter. Whatever. Harry Slash, what up, dude?
Yo, I've never been more confused about the topic. I thought it was about gun control than Hinckley than... So we're...
You know how we do.
I'd much rather talk about gun control.
You know how we do on this show.
Okay, as far as likes and dislikes and stuff like that, a friend of mine who's into reincarnation says that everything you like in this life had something to do with your previous lives.
Okay, now that one's going to be a hard one to prove because I'm not so much into previous lives myself. Do I think that there's a beginning and an end as opposed to spirit and everything just moving through, traveling through? Not necessarily, but I don't know where it travels from or where it travels to. And people that are like, you know what, I think I was a dove in a former life or something. I don't get that at all. That, to me, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I mean, this is a tough topic. It's like, why do some people like Marvel? Why do some people like DC when it's basically both superheroes? You know, what a person is drawn to is like a ridiculous number of factors. And sometimes the shit you're into when you're younger, you really don't give a shit about when you get older.
Okay, well then, and you're right. So let's be more specific. Now, when I was talking about like homosexuality, that is something that makes major debates on the level of, you know, serving your country in the fucking military, on the level of, you know, who they should let into certain schools and colleges, and it's crazy. Like when they talk to people like it seems to me like a real conservative right-wing kind of view to look at a homosexual and say, change, you know, don't be gay. God hates you because you're gay, so don't be gay. But I think that's mostly like what comes across through that message. And I've always felt like, well, that person, I mean, a lot of the gay people wish they weren't gay because of their outcasts and because they're so uncomfortable in society, because, you know, they have such a hard life. A lot of them are probably like, God, I wish I wasn't gay, but they are, and they can't help it. And isn't that just part of who they were? That's like part of, that's like in their brain?
Well, dude, people that are trying to change them are assuming that they have a choice as what they can be, or what any of us can be. We are who we are from birth. You know, some people may not.
Okay, but then that's my point, is if we are who we are at birth, then what effect does the environment have that we grow up in?
Ooh, this is tough.
I mean, it gives us an accent, you know, it might give us a certain perspective and outlook on the world based on...
Okay, I got one for you.
Okay.
Some people have no problems picking up a gun and killing a deer or an elk, and other people can't even step on a cockroach and take that life. Does that mean that the people that are killing the elks and deers are natural-born killers? You know, was that something instilled in them from birth, that they can freely take a life, whereas somebody else can't even swat away a bug?
Yeah, to me it seems like that would have to do more with your upbringing, because, you know, like if I was brought up around brothers and a dad that hunted, and since I was a little kid I watched chickens getting their heads chopped off and deer getting shot, you know, and, you know, torn open for dinner, then I probably wouldn't look at it with as much compassion as I do having not grown up around that, you know.
Yeah, but even growing up around it, you'd have to be drawn and inclined toward it. I'm sure in every family of, you know, 7 sons and a father, at least 1 or 2 of them are not going out and blowing away Bambi with a sawed-off shotgun.
You know, they do deep research on this shit about your genes and how much of it is coded as far as, like, you know, what you're receptive to and who you will be. We saw this special Sonia and I watched on this warrior gene, and they're talking about saying that people are helpless to how they're going to react when you know, when they're stimulated. If they have this warrior gene, it turns them into this super aggressive person that will act. And there was like a bunch of fighters and stuff that were getting tested for it, wanting to have the warrior gene because they thought it was something to be proud of, but they didn't even have it. And certain people do, and you don't know who they are.
Is that the one where they tested a group of bikers to see which one had it and which one didn't, and the ones that had like the most violent past didn't have it, but the one guy that did have it had like the least fights among them? Is that the same show you're talking about?
We got a confirmation from Sonia. She says she believes so.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's just tracing a gene back from like, you know, millions of years ago. It doesn't mean it's still a dominant part of your personality.
You know what? Here's, you know, I mentioned that I went to this mob. I had a mob mark-out day last Friday because I went to Vegas and I went to the Tropicana's new mob experience, and I also did a bus tour where they show you like mob history. You know, one thing that's really fascinating to me about mobsters is that they're such cold-blooded killers. I would think they would have no compassion, you know, like someone that could put a gun to someone's head, especially someone that's a friend of theirs they've been working for, someone who they know their family, whatever the case, but boom, you know, bury them, whatever. And if they do that, some of these guys, they're known to have, you know, killed 200 people, some of the really bad guys. You think they have to be cold-blooded and have no compassion, but yet these are guys that go home to their family and love their kids, and they wear, you know, they respectable suit and ties. It's the whole thing's baffling to me on that part, how they could take someone's lives but yet care so much about their own.
Well, that's
is it that person that killed the people, or is it the gun that killed the people?
Nice. Mobsters don't kill people. Guns kill people.
Guns don't kill people. Ice picks to the back of the neck kill people.
He kills a fag.
No, but even so, like, you know, with the character of Tony Soprano, who would shoot somebody and then go home and hug his wife and kids, you're talking about an atypical sociopath. You know, these are people, they're justifying that, oh, I have to kill this person to put the food on my table. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean it's right within society, but it justifies what their actions are within their own mind. You know, Charles Manson thought he was right in doing what he was doing, and he's up for parole too, but he's not getting out.
No shit. Yeah. True. Well, hold on, Harry. I'm going to take a call and go to Brian. What up, Brian?
What's going on, RVD?
Hey, man. Fucking having an RVD radio day.
Hey, this is my first time calling. This is under the Meet the Great RVD. Sorry about that stuff.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you joining. We always have a bunch of celebrity guests on. Right now, scheduled for the show is Shelly Martinez, Chuck Zito. I got Sabu advertised, but he took off to Japan. Haven't heard from Fonzie, and we might have some surprise callers too, possibly Too Cold Scorpio. But yeah, man, that's what we do. We kick it around. I appreciate you calling in and being part of our show. We're here, man. We're just talking like real people. So you got to have an opinion on this one, huh?
Sure. Let's get
you got an opinion, Brian? Have any idea what makes us who we are?
Yes, I do.
Have any idea what makes RVD so successful and why I accomplish everything and go out and hunt down my dreams, and why I look at life like nothing out there isn't supposed to be? No, I'm saying other people aren't like that, and other people they get by and they don't go for it. They don't think about that. They just think, that maybe they're supposed to have like a regular job. Maybe they're supposed to hate their job. Maybe they're supposed to hate their life. They get to where they think that. Is that something that's like inbred in you, your wiring? Because I think it is. Or is that just, being raised with motivation and positive energy, or is it, is it just circumstantial? It's both, huh?
Yeah.
It's got to be.
I think it's a healthy. I think it's a healthy both, and a little luck maybe mixed in.
There's a lot of factors involved. I think so too.
Well,
I think in general the successful people think differently. I don't know. Brian, where are you calling from?
All the way from Arkansas, boy.
Right on, all the way from Arkansas. Cool, man. Well, appreciate you calling in, dude. And
that thing about you said, what makes us who we are, and believe all that. Well, me, I always been a big believer, and I always never thought what anybody else wanted me to think or what anybody else thought. So I just always did me, and that's what makes you, you.
It's in your perspective and in your belief in yourself?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Well, that sounds good, man. That sounds good. Thanks for the call, Brian. And I'll agree with them too that I don't believe other people saying I can't do something. So I think that I help manifest it by just believing that it can happen. Oscar calling all the way from the UK. Holy cow, Oscar! What up?
Hello, Rob. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you great, Oscar. Cheers, mate. How are you?
I'm okay. It is the middle of the night, but can't sleep at the moment, so I was listening to the show. I've heard the show a couple of times, and it's always nice to hear what you have to say. I don't know how long you've been doing talk radio shows, but there are actually some interesting parallels, between talk radio and wrestling.
Point those parallels out to us, Oscar, because on the surface, that might not be easy to see.
Well,
unless you're talking about having like Piper's Pit or Jericho's Corner or whatever the fuck that was.
Well, it's one of those things that, when you get into some good talk radio, there's always kind of a question mark over what is showmanship and what is reality. You get people who are, to some degree, in character, and it's an interesting kind of interaction, an interesting dynamic between the host and the callers. And, of course, you've always got the audience there as well, and what's actually playing out between the people who are participating. When it's done best, it's always done mindful of the onlooking audience. So it's just, the people who can really master it have a good understanding of how it all works. So,
well put. And they also have resources and have people working in the office so that they don't have to handle 15 jobs at the same time. But yeah, that's well put. Here on RVD Radio, I don't think anyone does any characters. We're all our real selves, and that's kind of the point of the show. And we're just talking. So this is what it is. But I remember Tom Likas, I think he's probably still on right now, but he used to be out in L.A. before 97.1, the talk station went under, and I hated him as a character, but I would listen to his show and find it entertaining, and I knew that he was being an asshole on purpose sometimes, and I just knew that. Like, I knew he was trying to stir it up, trying to get, the angry lady on the phone to be more angry, and I was like, there's no way he can be that much of an asshole. He's got to be playing a character, but I used to think that all the time. But in the end, the result was that the show was entertaining sometimes.
Well, that's it. You see, you say that you're just being yourself now, but the question is, are you really? And then the same
am I just being me, baby?
Yeah.
Well,
got my wife to verify it.
She could be in on it though. She could be,
that's true.
Part of it.
Maybe I'm really Hispanic and I'm faking my. Que lastimo.
And of course, the same applies to the callers. Bear that in mind. So, onto the subject then, because I suppose it's not really the done thing to go off at too many tangents when the host sets a topic. It's respectful, is it not, that the caller comes in and talks about what the host has suggested that you are supposed to talk about. So the question of nature and nurture, and you made reference to that,
yes.
Particularly in respect of the gay situation. And, I mean, certainly with that, I would say that it is 100% nurture and 0% nature. I don't go along with this idea, which a lot of people want to subscribe to, including, of course, a lot of gay people themselves, that they are born like that it's in their genes. And if you think about it, you can find 100% proof that gayness is not in the genes if you look at identical twins. If you can find identical twins in which one is gay and the other is straight, then that immediately dismisses any suggestion that gayness could be in the genes, because if
I don't know about it. Well, hold on now, Oscar. Are you telling me that just because they look alike, that they're going to have the exact same favorite color, favorite food, favorite drink, favorite hobby? Fuck no. They're still different people.
Well, they are different people, but the point is that identical twins are identical twins because they are genetically identical. They share exactly the same genes, but they become different people, as you say, because of the influences that fall upon them once they are born and once they are living their lives. They don't live exactly the same lives. They are subject to different influences.
Sorry, first sound bite of the show. Just had to test it out. Ed McMahon, hey-o. All right.
Hello.
No, that's a damn good point. You never heard Ed McMahon? How old are you?
No, I have. I've never heard him do that.
You haven't? He did that every single night on the Johnny Carson show.
Oh, it didn't sound like
it. It just didn't go on and on and on like that one. That was really long. But, Oscar, you bring up some damn good points, though. And, who am I to say that you're wrong? But when it comes to the actual brain, the chemistry, the wiring, whatever it is that makes decisions and makes you react towards stimuli, you have to have a theory of how much of that's already in place prior to passing through the big vaginal doorway to the world, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I believe that gayness happens to people as a result of some kind of psychological trauma. Somewhere along the line, something happens to them that causes a reaction inside the brain which almost introduces a different persona into their essence, into their spirit, and it's like their original self is displaced by something else. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but I honestly think that's what's happening. And of course, a lot of people would tend to say that it's homophobic to suggest that gay people are not born gay, but I don't think it is. I think it's actually a sensible thing to want to understand why people are the way they are, and if you're going to say, well, people have somehow got their wires crossed, because you'd have to say that, I mean, there's something slightly wrong with being gay, isn't there? We've come to a point.
I mean, not necessarily from a Christian point of view. Yes, from a reproductive is the only mission on Earth point of view. Yes, but beyond that, not necessarily. I mean, I think that there's something wrong with adults that want to fuck little kids. Because there's a victim involved, a child that isn't old enough to consent to make decisions like that, and kids, shouldn't be fucking each other or anybody anyway. But at that point, I think there's, definitely something wrong and damaging going on. But for someone to be attracted to the same sex, although I personally don't feel that way, I don't necessarily look at it as if there's something wrong. It's just, to me, something different than me. Not much different than some of my friends that like, really super heavy girls, or some of my white friends that like big black mamas or whatever. It's like they're drawn towards something, and for whatever reason, I think that homosexuals, because of it, or bisexuals, that's winning. I mean, if you can be bisexual, which doesn't do anything for me,
winning,
then you would actually have a lot more to choose from, a lot more fish in the sea to pick from, or to get energy from, or whatever. But wrong, I don't know. Do you mind if we go to some callers and get their opinions, Oscar?
No, that's all right. You want to move
all
on,
right,
or do you want to keep me on along with some others?
Yes, if you don't mind.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, well, I'm going to go to Shelly and Danielle, the Martinez girls, who are guests of mine calling in because they're girls, and I want to hear their point of view. Hi, Shelly and Danielle.
Woo! Hey, what's going on?
Martinez girls, hizzy.
That's for Shizzy.
Haven't heard from Bruce Jingles, but he does a comedy show on Wednesdays now somewhere in L.A., so I know it's hard for him to call in, so I don't know. Hey, were you hearing what Oscar was just saying about his theory on gay people?
I caught the tail end of it, but it's really interesting because I hope nobody takes this the wrong way, because I definitely am a supporter of gay and lesbians and all these things, but I kind of have a theory that I've never really talked about that I don't mind opening it up to today with you guys. I really, let's see, how can I say this? I'm trying to put it in a light way because I don't want to offend anybody, but, when I was a young girl, I was sexually abused. I'm very open about it, and I really now in my adult life have seen the repercussions of that and the different issues I had. And, there was definitely a couple years back, I was in a really dark place in my life, and I didn't even understand why. And it wasn't until I started to have suppressed memories come back and really remember what reality was for me when I was younger, I just was able to figure out a lot. And one of the things was there was a time in my life where I felt that, maybe I had some sexual tendencies towards other women, and because of my spiritual background, I've always been told the old, that's not right, growing up in the church and everything. So one thing I used to always pray about is to understand why I had these feelings, and I felt like it wasn't right. then, fast forward to the last couple of years, and I really understand what the psychological issues I gained from being sexually abused from, other men in my family. And once I was able to understand all that, I realized that my sense of being in general, not just on a sexual level, but just my existence period, was all messed up and rewired because of people taking advantage of me when I was a little girl. So my theory is, I wonder if people tend to think that maybe they're born gay because maybe something really traumatic that could mess with one's sexual identity happened to them at a really young age, and maybe even do have suppressed memories of that, and then that's when you don't really understand why you have these feelings, and then they kind of manifest into whatever your decision in life is going to be, if you're going to be with a man or with a woman or both or whatever. And it's just really been interesting to me because I have always been so supportive. I've had gay and lesbian friends, totally on it, but I always kind of had that like secret to myself. And now I don't really find that I struggle with what I felt were darker sexual feelings and such because I started to understand myself. And it's really something that like I said, I haven't really talked about because I know it's kind of controversial, but now that I understand myself a little bit more and I can use my experience, my own personal experience, I like to open up about that and get other people's opinion on what they think on my theory, because another thing that I've really experienced too is a lot of gay men either really, really love me to where it seems like they're very responsive to me, like very, like, almost like a normal guy, and then there's the ones that are really angry with me, and I tend to wonder if it's because maybe I sparked something in them that they're not understanding because they thought that they were gay.
Well, it sounds to me like you're agreeing with Oscar. Does that sound right, Oscar?
It does. It sounds like she's saying that the influences are what gives rise to the feelings.
Well, Hey, this is Danielle. I know we have kind of similar voices, but I have kind of an opinion. I'm still, just learning more and more about just humans in general. And I think that...
Are we all?
Yeah. I think it all comes down to, regardless of sexual orientation, just your views on sex in general. And, you have to ask yourself what your intentions are, because you can be, having these heterosexual fetishes, and that can be very unhealthy, and what people may label as unhealthy within a homosexual relationship can just be simple dysfunction. And, it just goes back to that and educating people on having healthier views on sex.
Where does that come from, though, Danielle? I mean, where does that come from? What would make somebody feel different than someone else feels about stuff like that? Do you think that's is it possible that pre-birth that we're going to have our orientation in every which way, possibly, and then we come out into the world and then we follow our path?
Well, you know what? That's an interesting question to ask me, because I personally feel that society really pushes upon you what it is to be a man or female for all societies, and I think that you see variations of men and females and ideals, and I honestly think a lot of it has to do with the social environment and what is expected of you, whether that's verbal or nonverbal pressures. I really feel that, and, I'm sure that there's some natural things that do take place, but in general, regardless of sexual orientation, I really feel what you believe is to be a man or a woman, regardless of your gender, is very much based on your environment.
Right on. So I think that's also agreeing with Oscar and with Shelly. I think that's 3 for saying, that it's nurture. That actually surprises me, but I don't have answers. That's why, I have opinions, and that's why we have these topics and try to try to figure out, what everyone else's opinions are too. But this sounds crazy to me. I have to admit, like, it's something that sounds so. It's like when I hear people preaching to the gays, that they're, to refrain, and don't and force, force a different kind of lifestyle on them. To me, it sounds ludicrous. It sounds ridiculous. But using these theories that I'm hearing right now, I see where that comes from, because if people think that the environment just caused them and their path to turn a certain way, then of course you would think that the environment could also turn the path back in a direction that's more preferred. So that's I'm surprised to hear that, because I'm so free thinking and so I don't know, non-conservative, that's how these views are hitting me. What do you think, baby?
I think it's both. I think there are people that have things that happen to them, and that's why they have gay tendencies. And then I also think there are people that are born and they know that they're gay. I have family members that are like that. So I think it's a healthy dose of both.
So a dose of both?
Yes. You
Yes. Okay. A dose of both. All right. Cool. All right. So,
you know what? Like, I don't know. It's really hard to say, because I was not somebody who can come from that point of view saying, I was born gay. I don't, I'm still understanding what that means. Like, what does somebody think? Like, where is their mind at that they're feeling that? And I really would like to know that. Like, I never really had a discussion like that with anybody who said, I really feel I was born gay, and this is why, and this is where it all began. Like, I would be very interested to hear that. Like, I'm very
okay.
open.
I can tell you something, and I don't know if I'm right or not, but you can hear this from me. Maybe you haven't heard this. This is same thing. I'm just, except for instead of gay, I'll tell you, I think I was born heterosexual, Danielle. I believe that the path that I was to take in life, if I come from a spiritual perspective, I believe that a lot of requirements for that path to go in that direction are preformed. But on a physical sense, just I believe that I was born a heterosexual, and I was raised in a family, a normal Leave It to Beaver kind of family. I didn't know what gay was. I had a gay cousin, and looking back, I'm like, of course he was, but I had no idea then. I hadn't been exposed to that. Was he raised in the same environment as me? Well, I don't know. I mean, we all do dinner at grandma's together and stuff like that. Was his family life that much different than mine? I don't know. But in my mind, I kind of think there's a good chance when he was a little boy, when he was younger, he was probably, more interested in trying on dresses than suits. I think that's more of a nature kind of thing. And like I said, I could be wrong. But I think, that, this personality in babies, when you get a puppy, it's got certain personalities, certain little habits that it'll always do that are cute. Oh, look at the way Xena rubs her face with her paw. I love that. When you have a baby, you look for traits like that are similar to the parents. And it's something that's just nature, because there's no way that they learn that yet. Oh, my God, look at that look in his eye. He looks just like his dad. There's things like that are definitely, and from my opinion, planted in prior to even popping out and getting that cord cut. That creature that's in there, that's part mom and part dad, miraculously its own living entity. It is what it is, and from its ingredients that come from mom and dad. So I think, in my opinion, that's one of them. Maybe not always. Maybe sometimes environment is a factor, but for a lot of people, I think that just they come out, and they if you're a kid, we know a kid, baby. what's her face's son. We always say he's going to be gay because he wanted to dress up like a Tinkerbell for Halloween or whatever. He wanted to be a fairy, and he always wants to dance and sing. And she tries hard to get him, like, no, don't you want to do boy thing? Hey, don't you want to play with the trucks? Play with the trucks, and right?
Yeah, yes.
See, but that's always been my question, though. It's like when boys are dressing up and stuff like that, well, they're gay or they have feminine tendencies, instead of saying, well, maybe this is a heterosexual child that enjoys dressing up like that. And, like what's being encouraged. And sometimes you have that, guys that have more feminine tendencies, people want to call them gay. And it's like, they just have these qualities, and that's something that is part of their personality that they encourage and others around them encourage. And it's interesting, like, I feel like it all goes back to just male or female, and I don't think that sexuality or even male gender or whatever
you don't get hung up on labels.
Is so concrete.
I get that. You're not hung up on labels and whatever someone likes, and if they're man or woman or a version of in between or whatever. I get that. But when you talk about tendencies, I mean, if we can take it out of the gay field and think about something else, what makes one kid, like say you have a boy and you're raising him and he's super aggressive and he's going to be an athlete. All he does is run all the time, and he's got this incredibly high energy level, and he just wants to run and play. And then there's another kid just wants to hang out and chill, relax, do nothing. I mean, isn't that in the wiring of their brain? Isn't that like that they like predisposition to be that person and to react that way in the same world?
I don't know. In this country, the one that's running around has ADD, and they want to put him on some kind of medication. And the one that's just chill, he's depressed, and they want to put him on some kind of medication. That's just my opinion.
Tap ass, jump in here.
Yeah.
Jump in, tap ass, all the way from across the pond, but not really because you're in Florida now.
That's right. How's it going, folks?
Good, man. You know what? Someone in the chat room said they hated this topic, and I don't know. Starting out, I didn't know if it was going to be weak or not, but I mean, this is the kind of conversation I would have on my private, in my own time. The conversations like this that provoke thought, that get opinions. So I like to have it on a camera or, on the radio show, because, this is what we're doing. We're opening up.
Yeah,
Open up.
I'm not gay, but I'm going to get right behind you on this one and say I'm heterosexual. I know whose field I'm playing on.
See, now, if I had a budget and had someone doing my sound bites, I would have got your fucking rim shot there. Hey, not a rim shot either. I'll give you a trombone.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
All right. Well,
there's so many angles I can come across on this.
Shed your English brilliance on us. Oscar's from your part of the world too, by the way. But do you believe? I mean, I'm surprised to hear these views that people think that gay is a reaction to an environmental stimulus. They think that people turn gay. To me, I don't know, that sounds funny to me. They're bringing up points that you got to consider, but how's this sound to you, Tap?
Yeah. I can relate to this in a big way. I believe that people are born gay. It was just about 2, maybe 3 years ago, I found out that my own brother back in England is gay. He came out of the closet. I was like, whoa.
Was he raised like the exact same way that you were?
He was, and but the thing is, there's a 9-year age gap between me and my brother, and I remember us growing up, and I remember him just doing these unmanly things, like he would like wave his hand and go, "Hey, girlfriend." I'm like, "Don't do that, that's gay." And he's like, and he'd wear dresses and pretend to be female characters off of television. I'm like, nah, you got to stop that shit, that's gay. And
you want to play with Barbie and you wanted to play with G.I. Joe.
And I'm not homophobic or anything like that. It's just, it's a British thing. You want your brother, you want to go hang out in the pub with your mates, and when your brother turns gay, you can't exactly do those things. Not
right. So you kind of saw it happening, like you kind of knew all along, or you didn't know?
We had suspicions, and we always teased him about it. Me and the family were like, "You're gonna end up fucking gay," and yeah, he did. So. Yeah, so there's that, and then there was a stage. My best friend, we was coming home from the pub one time, and we got outside my house, and I've never told anyone this, so here goes. And we were outside my house. He was on his way home, and he goes, "Oh, this ain't gonna make sense." I'm like, "What?" And he grabbed my face and tried to kiss me on the lips, and I shoved him away. I was like, "Dude," and he goes, "Sorry." He goes, "I just." and he said, "Sorry, I don't know who I am." And I was like, "Yeah, well, go get some sleep." Swing. So anyway, several years later, he ended up getting a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right. And then the last one I can chuck into this pile is I knew a guy, not personally, but I knew a guy who was married for 20 years, and then he left his wife because he ended up finding that he was gay.
Say that again. They were married 25 years?
He was married 20 years to his wife, and then he left her because he all of a sudden just decided, I'm gay kind of thing.
Cocksucker!
Yes, indeed.
Wow. See, that's, that happens. That happened with some political guy. I can't remember his name right now, but that was huge news. But the wife stuck by him. He didn't leave her. Big gay scandal, and then she stuck by him. And then I think they look at it like he gave in to Satan's way or whatever the deal. He was, whatever, I don't know. And then and so they think they can reform him, I guess. So I don't know. Tap ass, I think, one for the side of logic with me. I don't know. No, that's just my opinion. But we're keeping score here.
In my brother's case, I believe he was born gay. But, in some people's case, 20 years later,
Can I just cut in here, though, and say,
absolutely.
You don't know, Tapas.
Shelly.
If at some point some traumatic event happened to your brother, it could have happened at any time and just been a short momentary thing that maybe you didn't even witness that triggered this change in his personality. And it's not necessarily that he grew up in the same home as you and yet he turned out to be gay and you didn't. It could be that it was triggered by anything. And
it could have been.
There's all those years of life that he's had, and it could have happened at some point. It might have been a series of events, rather than...
There you go. Tap ass crumbles under pressure. He says he does not know if that happened or not.
And of course, the situation where you get people who have been married and stuff like that and realize that they're gay in their middle age and this sort of thing is even further evidence of the fact that it's psychological influences that affect the wiring.
Damn, that's a good point. Well, let me ask you something, Oscar. So do you believe someone that's completely straight like me, like the thought of even like kissing a guy on the mouth, even if I was getting paid to do it in a movie and I was an actor, for me it would kind of it'd be gross. I think that their skin. A lot of guys can relate what I'm saying. Anyway, do you think someone like me that something could happen in my life where I could possibly turn and then all of a sudden, want to have balls on my chin?
Well, good question. Good question. And going with my theory, you'd have to say, regrettably, I'm going to have to say yes, it could. You don't feel like it now because that, from the perspective that you're looking at the situation now, the idea of it is repulsive, and you think, well, I just could never see myself thinking that way. But whatever happens to these people to cause them to change, which is what I believe happens, if something like that happened to you, it might make you change as well. I assume that it's less likely as you get older. So that someone at your stage of life, it's probably less likely to happen than it would be to someone in a child.
Interesting. I appreciate your answer. I appreciate your perspective and your argument. Hey Shelly, I got to tell you this before I forget. Who was it that we were talking about at TNA? That SoCal Val, right? And
yes.
So I was talking to her about you, and she was like, "Oh, I love Shelly, whatever." And you said you love her too, right? Well, last night I went to tell her that, but I made a mistake because I'm stupid like that. And instead, I was looking at Alita from TNA, and I thought that's who I was supposed to tell. And I said, hey, Shelly loves you. And she was like, what? Shelly? I love Shelly. And then Becky, the cookie girl, the Jersey Shore like cookie girl, she was like, Shelly, she's my girl. And they were all popping and screaming, and so you got a lot of love there.
Yay, well, I appreciate that because, in this business, sometimes, you may think that, going on the road with people, working with people, that you're friends, and then you find out maybe not so much, but it seems like the longer I am not, physically involved in being on television and on the road, the more I hear about how people have so many positive things to say about me or positive vibes towards me, and it really means a lot to me because, sometimes I think, out of sight, out of mind, except, people like Val or, whatever that I'm constantly in contact with. So it brightens my day just a little bit more to know that here in a different time zone, some people were positively thinking of me.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Cody Taylor's been hanging out for a long time, so I'm going to pick his call up. Thanks for waiting, Cody. Welcome to RVD Radio. You've been on for a while, so I'm going to assume by now you got to have an opinion. Cody? No, Cody? Why don't you talk to me? Cody! No,
Cocksucker!
Hey, I can't hear anybody. Is my phone off? Shelly, you say something.
I'd like to say this. I think Oscar has a very nice voice, so if you can hear that, there you go.
Okay. All right. I thought someone was on my phone because I heard nothing but silence. Okay. Maybe Cody don't want to talk. It didn't. Usually it says if they don't want to talk, but that's all right. Cool. Because now here's a guest that doesn't want to be known by name, a mystery guest. I'm going to be standing by in case it's a prank because I've been fooled in the past. I've been burnt. But maybe it's a gay dude that wants to tell us why he's gay. I don't know. So this is guest 26517 from, it looks like, the Massachusetts area. Dude, you're on RVD Radio. What up? Mystery guest, speak to me. 617, area code? What the fuck? Hey, Matt Datton, are you on?
Yeah, that guy was a bit weird. He said in the chat that you might not have anything to say.
Oh, okay. And what happened to Cody?
I don't know. I tried to get through to him through the conference thing, and he just hung up. Weird.
Okay. All right, good enough. Shit, you're doing a damn fine job for taking Nikki Starr's place today. Just want to let you know that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Right on. You're still trying to come up with an opinion yourself on today's topic, huh?
I was just thinking, what about the whole Westboro Baptist Church people who believe that God hates fags, right?
Yeah, yes, they are fucking batty. If Oscar says that those people are normal and have a good argument, then I'm gonna have to roll one. They're batty. They say that that's okay. So thanks for bringing that up. These people picket the funeral of a dead soldier, a 21-year-old soldier. It's been all over the news. We've talked about it here on RVD Radio, I believe. And, they pick it so that the dad that's burying a soldier has to deal with a bunch of people with signs saying, thank God your son's dead, God hates fags, whatever. And hate. I'm always surprised how organized religion can preach hate, but they do. It's one of the miracles, I guess, of the whole phenomenon of organized religion, but so much hate. And here's the thing, on a smaller scale, I think, from my perspective, even like Shelly talking about her having questions when she was younger about herself and feeling like she was, how did you put it, a darker stage of your life and stuff like that. To me, what that says is guilt. And I believe, for the most part, that a lot of guilt is unnecessary. Sometimes guilt has its purpose. If you've done something, you've done somebody wrong, or you've done something and caused some harm, or you've caused, some interaction to happen you didn't mean to, and you're like, oh, man, I feel responsible. I get that. But when you feel guilt because it's pounded into your skull that this is sinning, or this is unnatural, or this way that you are or this way you're feeling is anti-God. God frowns upon you. He hates you. This is Satan telling you to be this way. That I don't get. And that's one thing about me I think that stands out, and I try to relate to other people. Is I don't understand why they live with so much guilt and why they don't just really think about why they're guilty and see if that really makes sense, or if that's just something that's unnecessary, that they a big dark blanket they could just totally fucking lift off themselves and just be themselves and realize maybe that it's foolish. So
yeah,
that's what I think, Matt. That when you bring up those haters from the Westboro Church, I think that also relates down to other people on a smaller level, just feeling like that they're evil, basically.
Right. Well, being a person that is, I just freaking love Jesus, so I'll just say that, and I don't keep it a secret, but at the same time, being that I am so passionate about my own personal relationship with God and what I really receive from that, it just bothers me to no end that kind of pattern of thinking, judging, mistreating other people that we're supposed to, as Christians, be helping really irks me because, even in the Bible it says that, different times where, for example, when Jesus had, a prostitute washing his feet, and his disciples were like, she's a prostitute, what are you doing? Don't you know who that is? Like, she's not even worthy of that. And then he was like, really? Stop being haters, because this is who we're supposed to be showing kindness to. And stories like that have always stuck out to me because growing up in the church, and, there was even a situation when Danielle and I went to a church when we were younger, and the youth pastor got totally busted for molesting young boys and stuff like that. So a lot of this stuff has been very real to me, and one thing that I've always just really saw more problems come out of than solutions is, like you're saying, the organized religion that just wants to judge and promote exactly the opposite of what we're supposed to be promoting, and that's just love.
Well put. Well put indeed.
Sorry, I got another point to bring up.
Oh, I love point.
Sorry. Most of the show we've been talking about human nature and how humans decide whether or not they feel that they want to jump the line between being straight and gay, if there is such a line, hypothetically speaking. But how does that explain the homosexuality in other species like dogs, cats, even fish? Do they have, like, a psychological experience that makes them want to be gay?
Good question.
Oh, good for you. And how was it?
I think that's a damn good point. I thought earlier about the fact Side is popping huge on that one. That's good. I thought about the fact that in nature, there are homosexual acts, and we see dogs humping other male dogs and stuff, and I don't know if that's their orientation or if it's just for them a physical, on the moment thing, because they'll also hump your leg or a stuffed animal. So, I'm not really sure if that's the same thing or not, but it's a damn good question. And Oscar, since you've been staying on all this time and supporting that opposing view, you want to take this?
Well, yes. I mean, animals, they are subject to psychological influences as well, aren't they? I mean, they have a life in the same way as we do, and they're maybe not quite as intelligent as us, many would say, but things happen to them, and it's a minority in any species to do that, so, How do you know?
Need I point out that scientists say that fish have a memory of 3 seconds, so how do they remember that they are gay?
Wait. Who's got a gay go?
I think you'll find it's a fallacy. Fish remember a lot longer than that. Whoa.
Okay. Let's back up a little bit. So the question on the tape all right, so
the only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
So Matt Denton, the question on the table is, how does the gay goldfish know he's gay, or?
Yeah, if it's not written in his genes to a genetic level, then how does he or she remember that they are gay?
I've never seen a gay fish anyway. What are you talking about? There's no such thing as a gay fish.
You want to smoke the marijuana?
I don't expect you to be going out in your everyday life looking for gay fish. That would be creepy, dude.
Well, I suppose you do you? I mean, is this how you come?
Documentaries on this sort of thing.
Oh, right, yeah, documentaries. Yeah, well, that must explain it.
It's documentaries on the TV, dude. For the same country you're in that people talk about, dude.
I see, yeah. Sit there watching David Attenborough.
Yes. All right. So, now I didn't even know fish had memory. Who's testing fish for memory?
Who's testing to see if it's gay?
I once got molested by a dolphin.
Wasn't that orca that killed the homeless guy that snuck into?
Yeah, he tried to rape its blowhole, right?
they put the orca back on the shows today.
Did he kill 2 people so far, or?
No, he's killed more than that. He's killed like 2 trainers, that homeless guy. So at least 3 people.
Wow. I guess he's reformed. Awesome. All right, so all right, so animals apparently are also prone to psychological trauma, and that can possibly also cause them to go off the beaten path. That's
I just think
that's
animals
what I've learned so
care.
far. Billy
Go
B
for
from
it, whatever's there.
Mississippi. Billy B from Mississippi, you hearing all this?
I can't help but not to miss it, man. This is a crazy conversation.
Oh, yes, it is. It is. All right. Well, Billy, what we're trying to figure out here is what makes us who we are, you know? I mean, we're all different people, and we admire each other for different traits that we don't have in ourselves. And where did all of that come from? And how come some people are so able to do things other people aren't, you know, and able to understand things other people aren't and make things happen, and we're all just so different? Are we all just like released out into the world, you know, with the exact same equal opportunity and fair chance, or are we predispositioned by the wiring in our brains to be who we're going to be, and then we go out there and just develop from there? What's your theory, Billy B from Mississippi? Thanks for hanging out, Shelly, too. I'm Danielle.
Oh man, it's all from the beginning, from when you were created, from the day that your parents hooked up or whoever thought to. You know, something was going on with them genetically or chemically. You know, somebody had some tiger blood, somebody had some gay blood in them. You know, maybe it was repressed or whatever.
Well, it's just like, so I mean, they could just be another trait. I mean, you know, whether we're talking about someone that is gay or hetero, or if we're talking about someone that likes seafood or doesn't like seafood, or someone whatever the differences in traits are, it's possible that that's just all the same, right?
Yeah,
I mean, from a perspective, we're all different and we're all attracted towards different things. And sexual or not, that's just a line that you draw somewhere. You know what I mean? If we're attracted to beauty, we don't always want to fuck it because it's beauty. There's different kinds of beauty, but then there's a line where it's beauty in a sexual way, but we're drawn towards it. You know, certain people love trees, you know, and the green or birds, and other people are like, it's boring. I don't want to deal with that shit.
Why are you talking about us like that?
Birds
well,
are cool.
It's all what you like. I mean, what all turns you on. Being gay, lesbian, that's all a label anyway. I mean,
turn-ons and turn-offs, whether it's sexual or whether it's, you know, anything in life. Basically, that's what we're talking about here. So I got an expert on the line right here. He knows everything. Yeah, because we lost his new music, and that's all we got is the old one. Officer X, motherfucker.
What's up? What's up, my man? What's happening?
Got a strange topic, but it, dude, we have some definitely different opinions on it, and you, the official member out there in society, while the rest of us are home safe in our houses and our shelters, you're out there living it up for real, Officer X. You know, people like we only see society on TV and read about it, but you're out there living it, causing it. You're in the middle of it. You are it. I'm the ranking humanoid. You are society, Officer X. Hey, we want to know what makes us who we are, and you know, is it something that we're born with? Is that, you know, what makes you turn on by what you're turned on, and or is it something that happens throughout life that creates us? Are we products of our own environment? You tell us, Officer X. Whatever you say has got to be right. No, actually, whatever Chuck Zito says is right. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going with what he says, but what's your opinion?
Yeah, I'm going with what he says, too.
Yeah, whatever he says, like, yeah, there you go.
You got it, Chuck. You got it. Exactly. Yes, Chuck.
Yep.
Yeah, I only got one thing to say to Chuck Zito after he makes a comment. You know what it is?
You're right, Chuck.
Exactly.
Shelly, do you know Chuck Zito?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. He's a really tough guy.
Shelly would like him.
Yeah, he's awesome. You know what he's famous for? Well, he's famous for a lot of things, but a lot of people know him because he beat up Jean-Claude Van Damme in a nightclub like 10 years ago or so. And that made him, that gave him all the rounds on the talk shows and stuff. But he used to bodyguard for him. He bodyguarded for everybody, Pam Anderson, Sean Penn, everybody. He used to bodyguard. He used to run the Hells Angels. He's got a book called Street Justice. It's awesome. You read this book. Talks about all these fights. He's been in prison fights and biker fights. It's just crazy stuff. And he's an enforcer. Like he's someone you don't want to offend or say the wrong thing. Like when you're around him, you know, kind of like you know what I mean. You could be like, hey, it's a beautiful day out. If he says, oh, you fucking kidding me? It's humid. I'll be like, oh, fuck yeah, man. I can't even dry off. What is this?
Fuck Hardy.
Ridiculous. Yeah,
hey,
right. He has a talk show on Sirius, too, on the Howard Stern channel. I never get to hear it because I'm always at TNA when it airs. But I was telling him that last week, and I was telling him, dude, I've never got to hear your show and stuff. When I was asking him if he could do this, and when I said that, the radio had Chuck Zito across the middle of it, and it was an ad for his show. So I like the synchronicity. Then in the morning, they replayed it at 5 in the morning. I got to hear like 30 minutes of it on the way to the airport. So that's cool.
Well, that was in your Jeremy, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Jeremy don't talk to me anymore. I think he's mad I took his car. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. So Officer X, everyone's been so kind as to contribute to this crazy subject. I'd like to know what your opinion is. You know, why is it that you like sweaty man-ass and we don't?
What the fuck did you say?
See? I knew that would wake you up. Alonzo Bowden, he's this comedian, funny as hell. He won, I think, the second year of Last Comic Standing. But anyway, he's got a special on, and he was saying that when people get busted, politicians or priests or whatever, and they get busted for being gay, their excuse they always say is, well, I gave in to temptation. And he says, Satan, Satan can tempt me with sweaty man-ass all he wants. And I'm going to be like, hey, Satan, I know you're the god of the underworld and all, but I'm going to pass on this.
I think.
Why is that, Officer X?
It depends on what you're talking about, because, like, I got some gay friends, and they told me that they knew when they were 13 or 14 that they were gay guys. They had no choice in the matter, and if they chose, if it was a choice for them, they'd be straight, but it's not, But I think other things there's a choice in life, like the way you're going to wear your hair, or the way you're going to talk, or the way you're going to conduct yourself, or your attitude. We're all preconditioned to stuff, but, That's the difference between us and baboons. We have an intellect and free will, and we can make decisions about how we're going to behave and how we're going to act and how we're going to feel about things, and animals can't.
So you think that it's just a choice?
For what? A lot of things. I don't think that gay thing is. I think you're either are or you're not. But I mean, with the but most other things, everything else in life pretty much is.
All right. Well, see, I don't. Sonia and I don't have any kids, and to me, the whole creating a human life doesn't seem natural from my perspective. Natural, using the term to mean it's normal, like a lot of people do that. But for me, like, I can't imagine that I would have that, and my wife, that we would have the ability to actually create a human being. I don't get that. I think that's because we probably don't have the ability, and it's probably in my brain that I know that, and that's probably in my wiring to think that. I think otherwise, if I was, Mr. Fertile or whatever, I think that I would know that, because I think it would be in my brain, and my brain would know that about my body. A lot of times your brain tells you what's wrong with you, and it's crazy. Like, you could just you could have an upset stomach, and you think about it, and how the hell do you know? It's because you had a bad avocado yesterday or something. But like, your brain will tell you, and you can pick out what's the foreign, the antibody in your body, that's that source of negative energy. I think that the brain is, who you are. I think that's probably created first. That's, we can't prove anything about, what's created first between a spirit or the body, or even how many separations we have if we just want to stop between the body and the spirit. The mind, if you want to separate that from the body, that to me is more who you are. And a lot of people who take pride in their physical appearance to a obscene degree are going to learn someday, when they don't have that anymore, that the person that they were is still inside there, but they don't understand that perspectively. I don't know. I think still it's a combination for sure, but for me, I really am leaning towards you are who you are in the plans, in the blueprints. I believe that
to an extent, but you can change it. You can change yourself. I mean, I know guys that are twins, and one guy's just a stone asshole, and the other one's super cool. And identical twins have the exact same DNA. Did you know that?
Well, we brought I don't know about exact DNA if we mentioned that.
If you I just went through a class on this. If you swab someone's DNA and they're for like a murder scene, the only person would have a match with. If you're an identical twin, you have the same exact DNA blueprint as your twin, regardless of the sex. One could be a boy and a girl, but whatever it is, they can't be identical. No, but it's true though. I never knew that shit either, but it's true. But I mean, I've met identical twins, and one's super cool, and one's just a complete fucking asshole. And it's because the one that's an asshole chooses to be an asshole.
You really think it's about that? Like, because certain babies.
Think about this. Think about spots you've been in your life, right? Think about places when you've been in your life, when you've been dark, or you haven't been nice, or you haven't been decent to people and shit like that. That was pretty much a choice because you're having some bad mood and you decide to be a dick rather than work yourself through it.
Yes, but what makes me prone to making that choice, especially like at a young age, like when I'm a baby and I don't know that much about positive energy and trying to consciously control my vibration. How come some babies are moody little assholes and other ones are great?
They're not. Not when they're babies. Not when they're babies. They're perfect. They get conditioned after a year or two, but real babies are always happy and smiley and stuff. It's like there's no such thing as a racist 2-year-old. Somebody fucking makes them that way. Everyone is happy when they're born, and they're cool, and they think everyone else is cool, but they get conditioned to be dickheads.
What about when they're
environment?
What about when they're gassy?
Yeah, it's bad. They are gassy too, though. I'll tell you, you should open the RVD daycare. That's what you guys need up there. The Van Dam daycare, and have like 6 kids for a year or two, and then all your questions will be answered. You like that, Shelly? You can stop by and help out.
You know what? It's always good to hear what you have to say, Officer X. I always enjoy it.
Thank you.
Bruce Jingles flaked on it.
Think about people too, right? Think about people you've seen with substance abuse problems that have been real bad drug addicts or alcoholics or anything, and then they change their life and they get clean and they get sober. Think of the dynamic change that happens in their personality and the way their entire life changes.
Now, it's good that you brought that up, because I have people trying to convince me that is a predisposition in your genetic code. And, when we talked before about manipulating the genetic code of your babies, that was the topic a while ago, where people could solve, fix whatever, if your baby's going to be sick, you could see that ahead of time. You could cure it from multiple sclerosis or whatever. And the discussion went to a point of, you could pick the sex, the hair color, the eye color, all kinds of stuff about the baby. And at some point, when is it wrong or when is it right? And we talked about all that. And X-Pac was the one on RVD TV when we were talking about it. He was saying that he's got an addictive gene, and that he would, if he had a kid, he would be able to take that gene out of the kid, and that it would solve his kid from having a shitty life of being addictive. I'd never heard of that before. I have heard of it since then, but I'm still not sure if that's how much weight to put into that, because when it comes to addictiveness, I tend to think that does seem like it's a matter of choice. No. I'm telling you, because no or yes. Quit beating around the bush.
No. There's no choice with that thing. If you got that addictive gene, I got it. Once you, my choice with it is I can't turn it on, but if I turn it on, I can't fucking turn it off.
And you think that is something that was it's a gene, so genes aren't changed. Genes are not contingent upon the environmental change.
No, but there's a genetic predisposition, like for instance, Irish people, American Indians for alcoholism. We don't process booze like people from fucking Italy or South America. It's just something in the genes. Sonia, how many people did you know growing up that had problems with booze from where you grew up?
A lot. Excuse me, a lot.
Everybody?
Not quite everybody, but quite a few people.
But most, it's a common known thing. Most Native Americans have a real hard time handling alcohol.
That's not just their lifestyle. That's something that they're born to be victim to. You're saying?
No, but there's a genetic predisposition to it. Like there's other ethnicities where people are predisposed to certain disease, like certain types of cancer is more prevalent in this, or like African Americans are predetermined at sickle cell anemia and type 2 diabetes. It just happens.
Yeah.
There's certain things. I mean, there's some things you don't have a choice over, but a lot of that stuff you do. Like, I mean, no matter who you are, if you shoot heroin 3 or 4 times, the odds are you're going to become an addict.
Okay, I don't know anything about that, but if only we had a doctor in the house, like our next caller, Dr. Sean Stasiak. Hey,
hello, everybody. I guess I'm on. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I had Dr. Sean Stipich plugged for the radio. You're in your alter ego.
Hey, I want to say it's ironic that you guys are talking about what you're talking about, because I'm on my way to Austin to be a bodyguard. Officer X will dig that, because I'm going to be down with the law enforcement and security, so I'll be dabbling in your neck of the woods there. But we're just talking about the power of the mind, about overcoming addictions. I think that there's a physiological element that might play a part in certain ethnicities or cultures or whatever, or we're talking genetics, but I think at the end of the day, and Rob, you and I have talked about this, the power of the mind is incredible. I mean, we can overcome anything we put our minds to it, and it's just a matter of what you value. If you value something more so than the addiction, then that's going to be your motivation and your passion and fire to get through it. I think it's just an excuse to stay in an addictive mentality.
And you would apply that towards someone feeling, like they want to make a change. I understand that. Would you also apply that towards someone that's in a spot where everyone else wants them to make the change, and that pressure is probably what makes them want to change? Like someone that's, I guess, like someone that's gay. We keep going back to that, but someone that's gay. Do you think that that the reason they're gay is they're using an excuse and saying that they're a victim when in fact they could just not be gay?
I don't. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. Good question. I mean, who knows?
I'm by winning.
Good one. I like that. I don't know. I think that an addiction of any type or any type, talking about someone being gay. I don't know if that's. I guess that's that. You're talking about nature versus nurture. Is this the topic of the show this week?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, we keep going back to sexual orientation. Addiction is another good way to go off of that. But we're also talking about just personality traits, drives, just everything that makes us who we are, and looking at for a lot of that, I believe that's already in you. That's in your genes. That's in your ingredients. And I believe that that's the case more so than environment creating, who you are. I think the environment, obviously to an extent, that's going to affect a lot of decisions that you'll make in your life. But the person that you are, I tend to believe, that that's more of a nature.
I think it's all circumstantial. I mean, really, I think that we all have elements that might gear towards one thing or another, or a thought process, or addictive personalities, or an interest, or whatever, loves and passions and denials and I don't know. I mean, there's just it's so widespread. I think at the end of the day, though, I think it might be easier for others or harder for others to get to rid those addictions or rid an interest. I don't know. I mean, I think there's definitely a genetic factor. There's a nurturing a nature factor there. But I also think that our influence in the society and environment we're exposed to has a huge impact on those, that behavior. It's just such a complex issue.
Yeah, well, it is, and that's why we appreciate your opinion. So, Shelly and Danielle, you guys got to get going soon?
Yeah, but it's been great, and we definitely got to come and invade another one of your shows because I always love all the topics you have. Yeah, definitely learned a lot, thinking a lot about different things.
Yeah, well, awesome. I definitely appreciate that. I did your show last week. Is that a regular show or once in a while, or what's going on there?
Yes, every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have our own blog talk radio show, and it's called Fun Time Radio.
Fun Time Radio. Cool. So I'll talk to you there. I'll talk to you here. Thanks for your insight, ladies.
Totally, and you guys have a really good night. And bye, Sonia.
You're going to miss Chuck Zito. I'll have to tell him you said hello.
Totally. All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Is he calling in, Rob?
I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him in a minute. Sean, do you know Chuck Zito? Dr. Sean, do you know Chuck Zito?
Yeah, I met Chuck, I think, backstage a couple of events with WWE. Is Chuck on the line?
No, he's not. He's waiting for me to call him, and I'm gonna call him in a minute here because our show is already down to like the last 25 minutes or so. Looks like we did it again. I thought earlier, like, boom. The show's going to fly by. Who knows? Maybe we'll call it quits after a while. But we still got plenty of show to go. And also, before I call him, I'm going to go to Matt from Florida, so Matt don't hang up. What up, Matt from Florida, even though you got a 203 number?
Yeah, I'm registered in Connecticut, actually. Hey, RVD, what's going on?
What's up, dude, man? Thanks for calling in.
No problem. Just wanted to offer my take on the current topic here.
Yeah, I would love to hear it. Love to hear it, man. What do you think? Because, I mean, obviously, it looks like there's a lot of different opinions, and I'm kind of surprised by some of the different directions, but who knows who's right? What do you think?
Well, I think going along with what SVD said, it's a little both, I think. In some ways, we're genetically predisposed to certain traits, like are we going to have blue eyes, brown hair, what was our mother and father like, that kind of thing. But also, I think it's a product of your environment, like where were you brought up, how were you brought up, what influences did other people have on you, and that kind of thing.
Right, but then to dig a little deeper, okay, let's say we're talking about who we were, who was an influence to us when we were younger and stuff. But what makes, let's say you and I both had the same uncle, and one of us thinks it's okay to be a stooge, and the other person would never do that. One person will be, a tattletale. He'll grow up and be, whatever, narc on people, screw them over, whatever. And somebody else, what makes them take more pride in being genuine and being honest, whereas to someone else it doesn't mean as much? They're picking it out of the same society, and it's different preferences. That's got to be wired in, right?
Yeah, a little bit, I think. But when it comes down to it, I think. Well, I'm not really sure, to tell you the truth. I studied it a little bit in college, but I never quite. It's fascinating to me. It's something I'd like to get more into, basically.
I have a question. So, which one of the two of you did the uncle touch?
There's nothing like that.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Well, we don't know either, and we're always interested in picking out subjects. It's very rare, actually, that I have a show where I have experts of the subject on the show, but sometimes it does happen. And coming up soon, it's going to be close to 420, baby. Next month, April 20th is a huge date for the marijuana culture and the enthusiasts. So we will have to soon do a show again on cannabis to some degree, whether it's the current laws or upcoming laws or voting or whatever.
And I wanted to ask.
I'll interrupt Chuck Zito, but go ahead if you can get in first.
Hello.
Hey, Chuck.
Yo.
Hey, Chuck. Baba. RVD. You're on the radio.
RVD, what are you doing, Baba?
Hey, man. Did you get your workout done?
Oh yeah, I just finished class a little bit ago, and we're all at the diner here having something to eat.
Okay,
I gotta feed the workout.
I know, man. Hey, tell everybody where your gym's at, where they can find information on that.
All right, you just go to chuckzito.com, and you'll see the Chuck Zito's Street Survival School. It's in Westchester at Pelham Manor, New York. So we teach. We do a bunch of things, but 6 days a week you're allowed to come.
Website,
we
phone
teach,
number?
It's 914-576-3100. So what we do is we teach boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, Karate, Kickboxing, Kung Fu, and Muay Thai.
Holy crap, that's a lot of stuff.
So in one night we could do 3 or 4 different styles.
Very nice. All right, and I've already told them about your book, and is that does that I haven't written a book now that you already did you did your rounds with the book signing a long time ago, but the book is books don't have like a shelf life like that. They're always still good. So does that still does it get reprinted if people buy it? How's that work? The Street Justice. Did I lose you, Chuck? Fuck. Chucky. Chuckster.
He'll kick your ass for that.
No, I think I lost him.
RVD, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, dude. I think I lost Zito, maybe.
Yeah, that's a bummer. But I just wanted to say, what do you think about this homosexual controversy?
What do you mean by controversy?
What do you think about? Is it are they born with it? Is it a choice? What do you think?
We've been talking about that for most of this show here, and we have a lot of different opinions on it. I've always just thought that you were born with it, and I really never thought that much else could be possible. But some good points have been brought up, and I have to, open my mind up to the possibility that maybe sometimes a traumatic experience might cause somebody to go down that road, but I'm still not sure about that, though. Because even if you have an act, like maybe something happens to where you do some things, but I don't know if that actually changes your drive. It probably does, though. I don't know. I mean, they'll tell you that porn stars and really wild sex girls, that usually it's because of something happening when they were real young, and that causes that. So I don't know. Honestly, before tonight's show, I never gave a lot more thought to other than they were just born that way and that's who they were. I was fine with it. I don't need to change them. I don't need to hate on them, but I'm a little bit curious now as to if I could have been off base. I don't know. What do you think?
Curious is the wrong word.
Well,
personally, I should say I'm not gay.
I'm by winning.
And but I think it's more of a choice, because I've run into some guys who were straight, but then they kind of came out of the closet. They seemed to change a little bit.
I don't know, man. I was banging 7-gram rocks and finishing them because that's how I roll. I have one speed. I have one gear. Go.
Okay. I didn't know how long that one was. I thought it was just hanging
with me, more just what I think it just seems to be more of a choice for them. I don't know. I could be wrong, though.
Well, let me ask you this, okay? Let me ask you this. Now, you're a heterosexual, then, I guess, like myself.
Right.
Do you think that you could just choose to be gay?
Personally, not myself. So I may be a little off base, like you say, on that one, but I was just, the way I was brought up was, being gay is so wrong and it's such a sin, and it's because I was brought up in a very Christian family. So I don't think I can do that.
I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong, but I have the mystery guest is back. Matt Denton, let's take you off of hold. Hey, Matt, so we got the mystery guest back. He is gay. He hung up before, and now he wants to talk to us?
It's a she, by the way.
It's a she. Yeah, as soon as I said he, I said, why did I go with that? Okay, well.
Thanks for taking my call, RVD.
Hey, right on. Thanks for your contribution. Good talking to you.
You too. See you later.
Okay, cool. All right, there goes Matt from Florida. All right, so we're going to take the mystery. Not found.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hi.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so mystery guest, you are a female and you are gay and you want to talk to us. How are you?
Hi.
All right. So you're listening to this subject and you're listening to everybody talk, and we only get to hear people's opinions on what we think about someone that has a gay drive, but none of us are in that position. But you're saying that you are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that that's a choice? Do you choose to be gay?
No. Actually, if I could, I would have been straight. But
See, now to me, and relax. Just I appreciate you calling in, so don't be nervous. But what she just said, if she could, she would be straight. To me, that just goes with my thinking, as if it's something they're born with. It sounds like a black person saying they wish they would have been born white. I'm just saying, like a black person saying, that white people get it better, people hate on us, we don't get the same rights, whatever. I'm just saying that it's something they're born with. They can't choose. A black person can't choose to be black, and you get that reference, don't you? Don't gasp at me like I said something racist. But you get that, right, mystery guest?
Yeah.
Right, and are you an adult? You sound young.
I'm almost 30.
Okay, so that counts as an adult. So you've had to deal with a lot of prejudices, and a lot of it probably comes from people thinking you've got a choice and you can change, right? Yeah? Uh-oh. Someone's calling. Let me check Zito. So you don't have a choice. You're saying you were born that way?
Not exactly.
Okay. No?
My
Please elaborate.
My mom says I am born that way. I don't know.
Your mom says you're born that way, but you don't know? Dr. Sean, what do you think about this case?
I think that it's a tough one. I can't seem to diagnose it quite yet, but I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Trying to help you out, brother. I don't know what's. I'm cutting in and out, so I'm traveling out in the country here, so I'm getting bits and pieces of it. What's going on exactly over there?
Oh, I don't know. We have an actual gay person on the phone with us. She's just not very talkative, and she's saying that I said, she wishes she would have been straight, like she was born with it, but not exactly. And that's about as far as we got so far.
Well, I kind of caught that. I think that's what I was saying earlier is that maybe there is a genetic factor. She wants to be. If she could be straight, she would, but she doesn't feel like she has a choice. So is there something genetically or in her brain chemistry that allows that she has her gravitate towards women? I don't know. And it's a topic that I've never really studied. I mean, I'm not an expert in that at all, but it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, I've thought about that too. What are the determining factors why someone goes that route or doesn't go that route? Is it something traumatic they went through? Is it something that's genetics? Is it something in their brain chemistry? I don't know. I mean, that's just been debatable for years. Kind of like religion and politics. Who really knows?
Right. Well, we have a gay person, and apparently she doesn't know. Or do you know? Do you know, gay person?
No, I know that I'm lesbian, but I don't know how it became that way.
Right. Okay. Well, that's cool. I appreciate all your movies. And, I'm going to try and call Chuck Zito back real quick and see if I can get his, whatever he says is right.
Bye-bye, what happened?
Hey, I don't know. We lost you, man. We
lost you? What kind of setup you got there?
What's that? Oh, who do we got right now? We got Dr. Sean Stipich, Dr. Sean Stasiak. He's a wrestler. We had Shelly Martinez. She's gone. Show's winding down. We got Officer X. He's our anonymous police officer that you actually, he's going to hate me for busting his balls on this, but you met him that night at Scores over the Mr.
Oh, yeah. The guy lost the money?
Yeah, he's on the line.
How you doing, Chuck?
How are you, buddy?
Good. Nice to talk to you.
Hey,
likewise,
Chuck, we already decided whatever you say is right on this. And here's what we've been debating. We're trying to figure out what makes us who we are. Because I've always just thought, what makes sense to me mostly is when people are created, their parents' traits and characteristics and genetic code, all that shit is passed on down, and that's what makes you who you are. I think that, boom, there you are, and then you got your path, and you go down your path. Other people on the phone and in this conversation seem to think it's a lot more of your environment that makes you what you are. And we end up talking about, like, sexual orientation when it comes to gay people. I always thought it was ridiculous when people think someone has a choice and they tell gay people, don't be that way, be straight. It always sounds ignorant to me, but I got a bunch of people on my show today telling me, no, that's how they feel too. Any opinion? We know whatever you say is right. So
I don't know about that. That's way beyond my subject there, man. You know.
What do you think? What do you think, Chuck? What do you think makes like you and I drawn toward like action, and the fighting arts and stuff like that, and then somebody else, some other guy, he might want to play with Barbies and wear dresses and watch cheerleading or something. Do you think that's in our wiring in our brain, or you think that's just something that our environment does with us?
I don't think it's the environment. I think people sometimes they're just that comes out of childhood, I guess. I mean, I've known people who played with dolls when they were kids, and they turned out to be on the gay side. But myself, my father was a professional fighter, so he taught me at a young age. I mean, I didn't have the time to have a choice.
Right,
so I was
right.
Getting my butt kicked every day when I lived in the Bronx, and my father finally taught me how to defend myself. So that's how I grew up.
Right.
But I know people that I grew up with that turned out to be gay. That would, I think it's I don't know if it's hereditary or what, but I don't think they're choose to be gay in a later time of life. But then you never know. I know guys who were married too, and then left their wives for some guy.
Yeah.
So you never know what life deals you, man. So.
Oh shit. That's great stuff. Now let me ask you this: your dad was a fighter. He taught you how to fight. Do you think if he hadn't have taught you how to fight, just the fact that you had his tiger blood in you, do you think that would have maybe made for the aggressive personality that would have made you prone towards being drawn towards fighting?
Of course. I mean, I grew up with the sport. I saw my father's his trophies, his pictures, his newspaper articles. When I was old enough to walk, when I was 5 years old, he got on his knees and taught me how to box. I mean, like I said, I grew up with it. I had my first ring fight at 12 years old. So I've done so many things in my life before, a lot of other guys. But yes, I grew up into the sport, and my father being who he was, of course, taught me at a young age. So.
Sure. Sure. And I love the stories from your book Street Justice, when you're talking about like the time you came home and one of the other kids' dad had put his hands on you. I think he gave you a black eye or something. Your dad said, "Who did this to you?" And as soon as you told him it was someone else's dad, he walked you right over to their house, knocked on their door when they opened, bam, knocked them out, right?
Yeah. Well, that happened to be at a luncheonette. It was a local luncheonette in Brooklyn. In like Bensonhurst, and the guy, an older guy, man. And I was playing around with my friends, horsing around in a luncheonette, and the guy turned around and smacked me. And I said, "Wow, man." And I told my father when I went home, he just thought I was talking about some kid, found out I was a man, and he dragged me right back to the luncheonette, and he knocked the guy out. So. I've been around a lot of crazy things when I was young.
That's a great story. When I met Chuck, I was signing autographs at the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence, Rhode Island, and Chuck was there too. Some kind of big convention, and we were there behind different booths signing autographs. And Chuck, you came over to introduce yourself to me. You were so cool.
Yeah.
Gave me a Playboy magazine that had a story on you in it and autographed it. And then gave me a couple of T-shirts and told me the story about how you beat Jean-Claude Van Damme up at school.
That's funny, because all the time you call me, you say, "Hey, this is the good Van Damme."
Yeah, you gave me that nickname. I know you'll know me by it.
Yeah, but like I said, I've went through so many things in my life, up and down, and we're still here to talk about it, so that's what's great.
Yeah, exactly, and a lot of our friends are not, so let's keep doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, listen, Chuck, you said your phone number earlier. Was there a website, too, to people to go on?
Well, basically, there's nothing on there right now. I think if they go, because I don't even have Facebook or anything. I don't have MySpace, but there's like 4 different guys impersonating me. And believe it or not, they have my dojo up there called Chuck Zito Street Survival School. but it's also on my website, chuckzito.com, and you'll be able to see the school. It's a beautiful school. Beautiful
right on.
dojo.
Well, I just saw that I'm going to come up to the area. I don't know how close. I'm going to be in Asbury Park and whatever other shows are around that area.
Okay, well, you let me know. When you come up near this area, you call me, and we'll hang out.
For sure. I will, for sure.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you, man.
Thanks for being on the show. And
you got it,
on
man.
the Howard channel. Does that have any schedule, or just look for it?
No, usually it's at the first or second Monday of every month now, because I was on it every other week. Then they changed the schedule, so you just got to look on Howard Stern 101, and they always have it on there when I'm coming on. And it's called Chuck Zito's View. So, we try. Yes.
Right on. All right,
bye. Thank you, man.
Good talking to you, bro.
Looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, brother. Thanks, man. Ciao.
All right, love you. Bye. All right. Hang that up.
Hey, imagine being the Chuck Zito Facebook impersonator guy if he catches you. Oh my God.
No shit. Hey, Dango just fucking called in when we got like 1 minute left or something crazy. And Dango, we're about to close the show, yo.
I heard that. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it had gotten so fucking late.
Yeah.
How the hell are you?
And Oscar, who's still hanging out, he's been on the whole show. Dango, I told you in advance we were doing nature versus nurture, what makes us who we are. And I was surprised, Oscar from the UK early in the show was telling me that he thinks people that are gay become that way, like normal people. Listen to me, but straight people, whatever, normal by his definition, something traumatic happens and they turn gay. And to me, like when I hear that inside, I go, that sounds so ridiculous. But then I listen to him and I'm like, oh, well, he's got so many valid points. And then I got a bunch of other callers agreeing. So we're not just talking about being gay, but, what makes us who we are. And that's one way for us to understand a very debatable subject is when it comes to that. Your opinion?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
I agree. I think it's very possible either way, to be honest. I think it is obvious. Possibly it could be hereditary, not necessarily hereditary, but born a certain way. But like I said, a traumatic event can turn an outgoing person into an introvert.
Very well balanced answer, Dango. Very well balanced.
Thank you. Why couldn't it do something else, something more dramatic? So, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
Dr. Sean, do you got anything to plug, dude? You got a website up?
Yeah, actually, you can go to SeanStasiak.com, and for any listeners that will be listening to this show, whether it's live now or the archive show, I have a great opportunity for anybody that would say they're a go-getter and a leader. Just email me at bookseanstasiak@yahoo.com. But I've come across a phenomenal opportunity that will only enhance their business. It's basically social networking, but it's a company that I'm aligning myself to do the cross-promotion with my comic book character Come to Life, Phobia, which you can also zoom in on www.phobiatv.com, and it's spelled FOBIATV.com. So,
all right, man. Well, thanks for calling in, Dr. Sean. Yeah, I don't know if we're any clearer or not. We got. Even if we don't understand more, we do understand more because we got other people's views, and that's what understanding is all about. Harry Slash, thanks for calling in. You probably had a question for Chuck Zito, didn't you? No? Good. Thought about that. But we didn't have time for questions anyway. Matt Denton, you did an excellent job. Thank you for stepping up and standing in for Nikki Starr,
no problem,
who wasn't able to be with us today. Thanks, Matt Denton. Right on, man.
Sweet.
Cheers to you. Thanks to Chuck Zito. Thanks to Shelly and Danielle, the Martinez ladies, and Dr. Sean and Officer X and everybody. And Dango, thanks for calling in.
Sorry it's so late. I will catch you next time, brother.
Catch you next time, and we can talk somewhere else, but we can't do it here because the show is over, and it's time to say bye, baby.
Bye, baby.
Goodbye.
You're listening to RVD Radio.
skull crack. You can stop the straight to your brain. Straight to your skull crack. Raw big deal. The whole fucking show. Raw big deal. The whole fucking show. I will fly high. Five star broad black. You can't stop me. 5-star broad black. Raw big deal. The whole fucking show. Raw big deal. The whole fucking show. It's all about the king of the gang. The balance of power that's in. You can't stop the king of the gang.